Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm Dennis.
I'm Andrew.
We are known as the Crafty Duo, the Crafty Lumberjacks. We've been working full-time as our brand, Crafty Lumberjacks, for the past 4.5, 5 years now at this point. And I know that's why you're all here. You want to hear how to work with brands, how to kind of get your small business started. And we hope to answer all those questions and get to a lot of information during this class.
Yes, a little about us. We love to talk. We love to talk to each other. We've been partners for the last 10 years. So in this class, please feel free to ask questions in the comment box. If you know an answer to a comment that you see or a question you see, give your opinion. We love that. We want this to be a dialogue as much as possible.
Yes, and so much of us, we're all kind of in the same boat here together. So we always kind of recommend lifting each other up. Ask questions, nothing to lose, everything to gain. Yes. We all kind of want to do the best we can in this business and in this crazy world that we're living in. And we can only do that by the help of each other and our each other's peers and friends and all of that. Yes. But special thanks to Michaels for having us. And of course, special thanks to Fiskars for having us. We actually have a whole year planned with Fiskars. We're going to be doing craft classes every month. And actually today we're doing a giveaway. So we hope you enter for that.
Yes, to enter the giveaway, we're going to be doing the giveaway towards the end of the class, but you can go on Instagram and follow us there. That will be the first way you can enter. But yes, it's super exciting. We have some really great products that we're giving away, and we're going to be doing that every month. In every class, we're going to be doing a fun giveaway.
Yes, and you can follow us on social media all across the board at Crafty Lumberjacks. DMs are always open. You're free to answer or ask any questions, rather. We love to hear from you. Yeah. One of the giveaways that we are doing today is for the Fiskars Align and Apply vinyl, which actually will be showcasing and using in our next class on February 10th. If you choose to join us, yes, you can win these so you can craft along with us. So we hope to see you there.
And you can also win a pair of the orange handled scissors. Come on, these are classic, these are iconic. I think most of us grew up with one of these in our drawer somewhere. These are great for all-purpose crafting, all-purpose everything, you know?
Yes, and if I'm looking over here, I'm just trying to follow along on the chat with you. If you have questions or anything, or so that's why I'm kind of over here as well. But a little bit about us. We started this journey about 11 years ago. We're both actors who met on the national tour of Fiddler on the Roof. We toured for 2 years, and that's kind of where we developed our friendship and relationship. And our cast members pushed us to start a blog. Yeah. We used to make, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, we would spend a lot of holidays together as a cast, and Dennis and I would make craft kits for people. We actually were in somewhere in Texas, and we took like a 40-minute bus ride plus taxi ride to find a Michaels to get like pipe cleaners for, and yes, that's what really we strengthened our relationship and like found this love of crafting. And when we finished the tour, we had so many people saying, oh my gosh, why don't you start a blog? I'd love to keep up with you, and really push for us to like start a blog about the home we were making together, crafts we would love to do. And of course we did. And then all those people who asked for it never visited, never would look at it.
Yeah, but we found that we had another community out there. We had strangers and brands and people that were interested in seeing what we were doing, which we were not expecting. This was supposed to be a little side hobby that we just enjoyed doing that turned into a full-time, non-stop career for us, and which we're so grateful for.
I'm just gonna say like the number one tip I think that brands are looking for this day and age, because I think we all know that social media has changed. Everything has gone to now a shopping vibe. You know, it's either you're trying to sell something or sell a craft or something you're doing, but what people are interested in is you. That's what sets you apart from everyone else. That's what it makes you different from anybody else. It's you. So whenever you can bring you into what you're doing, I think that is the best thing you can do.
Yes, and actually towards the end of our Q&A session here, we're going to be showing a small little craft using our Fiskars tools, of course, how you can add a personalized handmade touch to your products or to your content or to whatever you're doing out there, because that's really what will set you apart from everybody else.
And we couldn't do this class without doing a little craft, so we had to just sneak that in for the end.
Yes, of course. So you have a brand, you want to monetize, you want to make that money, honey. There are a handful of different ways to make money from your brand, you need to be on social media. That I know it seems overwhelming, but you have to be on it. That's where most of the action is happening.
Yeah.
And there are a handful of different ways that you can make an income from your brand. And that is by selling products, by creating content for yourself on your channel, by creating content for other brands and businesses on their channel. You can also make revenue and money from ads on your blog, your YouTube, whatever you have, and also through affiliate marketing.
Yeah. So there's definitely so many different ways that you can monetize from what you're doing. Like, we don't make any product specifically. We have sold things in the past on our website, but that's not our source of income. So the way we make money is off of creating content for other blogs or other brands and making content for ourselves.
Yes. Now,
okay, so I'm okay.
Sorry, I know it's a lot, but we have another actress in the house here.
Yes.
Someone love Bring On That Money, Honey. I love that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
I was just gonna say a good tip though, if you haven't started or if you have started and you're feeling a little stuck, taking the leap is the best thing you can do. Dennis knows the good thing about us is that we have each other. We're a definite yin and a yang. Dennis is a let's get it done type. I'm a let's think about the details and focus on those before we do. But it's really just taking the leap. Don't allow your inner saboteur to tell you, I don't have the best lighting. I don't have enough followers. I don't have the content that I want to create. Just start creating. Something that's changed so much recently is this shift of having to have everything perfectly curated as you're creating. I think about 5 years ago, 3 years ago, people wanted to see the best product and the best lighting. Now there is such a demand for content. You just are expected to pump out content as much as you can. And people really like to see that behind the scenes. So if you're telling yourself, oh, I'm not ready for it, don't listen to that. Just do it and put something out there. You don't know what videos will blow up and what videos don't. A lot of times we'll work on something so hard and like, this is it.
This is it. Never.
You know, and then we're like, you know what? We need content for the day quickly. Go show how you scrub the sink with the lemon. Done.
Viral.
Oh my gosh. Viral. That's
so
just
bizarre.
3 minutes to post.
You know, and I think that's something to note too, is that you never know. You never know. It's like, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. Again, nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Yes.
I did want to say something off of that, but now I forgot. I blamed. Taking the leap. I don't know, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing we also like to say is to have a community. I was going to say, I'm sorry. There's been an up in the last year alone. Brands and corporations have given money into influencers, about 47% increase in what they did the previous year in just 1 year. And it's not slowing down. It's not slowing down at all. And if you're concerned about numbers, you say, I don't have enough people, I don't have enough followers. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter your number of followers. This is one of your tips too. Size doesn't matter. You know, there's nano influencers, there's micro influencers, there's celebrity influencers.
And weren't you just saying, you were reading an article saying that micro influencers actually influence more people than bigger influencers. I think we all have a number of how many followers our goal is. For us, it's like 100,000. That's how I'm going to feel like we made it. But it's hard. It's a slow crawl to get there. And actually, you can have a stronger impact on a smaller group of people than if you have a larger group of people. That's something to consider. Size really doesn't always matter. It's about your community. Yes. We have a really great community with our following. We are friends with so many of them. We chat in DMs. We comment on their videos. They comment on ours. Yes. It's all about just communication.
Yes, and that's not just, which we struggle with each other, you know, it happens. But yes, but it's not just community through Instagram, it's the community around you. We have built such a community. We live in Astoria, Queens, New York, the most diverse area in the world. And so much of our community and meeting people face to face and going to small businesses, they help lift us up, you know, they lift us up. We do small craft events with them. They push us on their social media accounts. So it's not just the social connection through, you know, the internet. It's a community with people around you.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? That's really true. I also just wanted to say something about community. For the longest time, I think we're all thinking, you know, my brand is this. And if I'm following someone who's doing the same thing I am, they're my competitor. But we should really be thinking of ourselves all as friends. And I think for us, the content creators that we know, the small businesses that we know, they're all feeling the same thing. Like, I'm alone. I don't really, because this is such a new business, there aren't rule books about what you should be doing. So we're all kind of navigating it ourselves. Pull those people in and help each other out. If you have a contact that you think could help them out, give it to them. They will give it to you back. It's all about, hey, you know what? I found actually this website really helped me out to find blah, blah, blah. Oh, great. It's all about
blah, blah, blah. I know them well.
Yes. No, but it's all about helping each other out and not viewing them as competition. There's room for everybody.
Yes. Unless we don't like you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, and yes, we were talking about the micro influencers and nano influencers. If you're interested in numbers, 0 to 5,000 is considered a nano influencer. 5,000 to 20, let me just check my notes 20K. Here. Yes, 20K is considered a micro influencer, which is the ballpark of where all these brands and corporations are working with now.
Wow.
Yes, I know. So you just got to get 5,000 people to really kind of take it to the next level, but you can still do it if your numbers are lower.
And I think also the algorithm has just screwed up with everybody's head. It's easy to say numbers don't matter, but it really does affect you. But really think about engagement more than numbers. Actually, we were doing a Fiskars thing, I think in September, and we had sent in our analytics, and Holly, who we're going to be speaking to, was like, oh, you have great engagement, and our numbers were really down, but our engagement was really up. And I was like,
we're like, is that good?
Is that good?
Is that good?
Okay, like it made me feel a little better. It's all about, we really try to comment on, if people write us, we really try to write them back. We always, it's all about the engagement.
Yes, absolutely. We kind of talked about this. Show yourself, be present. A lot of, we've all seen it all. We've seen it all. If any DIY or craft that you think of, it's already been done. So a lot of times you want to kind of push aside the curtain and see who the maker is behind the product or the content, and I know that can be really scary, putting yourself out there, but it's something that the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be with it, and you just got to go for it. You just got to do it.
I also think when we're trying to create content, we're, like we said before, we make a lot of money making content, making tutorial videos for other companies and for ourselves on behalf of other companies. And when we're stuck on we know how to do the DIY, but we want to portray it in a way. And someone once told us, tell a story. Tell a story as you do it. People know if you're cutting something with scissors, you're cutting something with scissors. At this point, you don't need to say, I'm cutting the paper with scissors. You can, because sometimes we do DIYs like that. But sometimes just saying, we really needed this in our apartment because our cat told us so, or anything. Our cat usually tells us everything to do. But just bringing the DIY to you will hook people into watching and really get to know you. And that's really the whole point. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you say? Just kidding.
He's not listening. That's fine.
So reach out. Okay. So now if you're wanting to work with a brand, what we like to say is stock. And I have a funny little story about Andrew and I have done a handful of television appearances from the Drew Barrymore Show, Rachel Ray, Good Morning America, Live with Kelly and Ryan, Pickler and Ben, a whole bunch of different shows. And it started with Clinton Kelly on the Chew. And it was because we were a big fan of Clinton's. Yeah. We got on his radar, which meant we started leaving comments. If he had a craft corner, we said, oh my gosh, we love what you made today. We started liking things in his stories. We started retweeting his tweets. We were essentially stalking, not in a creepy way.
Yes. Right? Yeah, definitely.
And they had a spot open up for the Chew, and Clinton Kelly said to a producer randomly, oh, there's these guys that live locally. I don't really get what they do. Crafty lumberjacks. Why don't you reach out to them, see if they're available? We got an email a week later. We were on the Chew. Why can't I say that? On the Chew, and it kind of catapulted our television appearance career in a sense.
Yeah, and we're lucky that we have been doing it pretty much solid for the past 3 years. We do it.
But so we always like to say stock, but not in a creepy way. And what we say is kind of, if you're looking to work with a brand like Fiskars, start using their products. Use them in whatever you're creating. Tag them. You can even send your product to them, like in a a DM or something. A lot of people, we actually had a question come in where they're like, we hear that's a no reaching out into DM. I kind of say go for it.
Yeah.
Holly's going to be here. Holly is the brand marketing person behind Fiskars, and she's also our boss. She's going to chime in a little bit later, and maybe she could talk about this. But I think it's like, let them see you. Let yourself be known. Don't be shy. Use their products. Get on their radar. And even email. We started doing cold emailing to companies that we wanted to work with. After we kind of established our brand, we said, I'm going to reach out. I need new furniture. Okay, I'm reaching out to these people. Yes, and I'm like, honey, we want to do this. We want to remake our thing. We will provide content. Let's work together. Yeah, and half of the time, they won't write back.
I was going to say, I think we reached out to probably about 15 different brands, different furniture brands, and one bit out of 15. And it was a great fit for us. And it was really the perfect partnership. But it really is about putting yourself out there. And then if you are going to email them, if you are going to DM them, I think the trick is to be specific. I think everybody's inundated with DMs, with email. So if you just say, hey, I'm blank, I would like to work with you, they might pass you up because they don't have time for that back and forth. But if you're like, hey, I'm blank, I do content, here's a video that I did using your product, I would love to work together.
Yes, or show how to feature this specific tool in a craft or a project. Yes. Again, be specific because we're also stretched thin. Even these people who are working under big corporations, you might think they have a lot of people working there, but they are all stretched thin too. Everybody's wearing so many different hats these days, especially after COVID, where people are still just trying to get their footing. So again, if you can be specific on your end, that will help them. And actually it might encourage them to work with you, to be like, oh, she's got it all figured out. I don't have to do anything. Yes,
Yeah, definitely.
There are also what's called brand marketing websites where you can register yourself. You can, I guess, Google it. You can Google it. There's different websites, Aspire, Creator IQ. I'm forgetting. We don't really do it. Isaiah. Yes. But you can sign up and register for or put your content on these websites, and then you can find partnerships and brands that match based on your followers or your engagement, and they kind of do that side work for you.
I think this is such a great way if you're looking to start with brands and you don't know how to get your foot in the door, going onto these sites, filling out your profile, and then looking for brands that fit your brand, I think is the best way. Because then once you have that first collab, even if it's just for free product, even if it's something small, start off small and then engage with them and open that door. That's the best way to do it. We have worked a lot with those sites, and they really do open a lot of doors. And then the brand starts to know you better. And that's how you really form a long-term relationship with
yes, and speaking of long-term relationship, we've been working with Fiskars for the last about 5 years.
Wow.
And it was a slow climb, but a good climb. And at first we started receiving free product where I'm like, if it's free, it's for me. I will take it. I don't care. Just give me free things. And then over time, we started getting opportunities to create content. We actually got to work with them when they did the tiny house.
Shape Your World tour.
Oh yes.
Shape Your World tour.
Shape Your World tour, where we that's Holly.
Hello.
Where we got to work with them, and then kind of our relationship just kept growing, and we kept getting different opportunities, more opportunities. So I think there is truth behind slow and steady wins the race.
Yes, definitely.
Now, Holly, if you want to chime in, ask some questions or any tips or advice you have, we'd love to hear from you.
You took my first question of answering how your background with Fiskars, so that was great. I guess elaborating on some of the different projects we've done, I guess kind of even Zoom last year, I think that was a good example. We started that off as a test. That went really well. Now you have a whole year of the series. So just speaking to, I guess, some of the different projects you've done for us, or even elaborating more on some of your video appearances.
Sure.
Yeah, so we found Fiskars early on, and we were doing small things. So we actually did a couple of blog posts a year where we would feature Fiskars tools and then create a blog post and take pictures, and that was really great. And then we did the
Shape the World.
the Shape the World tour, and we actually taught a live class. Of course, this was pre-pandemic, which was really great. We were in Brooklyn. We taught like hundreds of people how to make these magic wallets using Fiskars tools. And then last year we did a Zoom class with actual employees from Fiskars, and just talking about our point of view as creators to Fiskars employees. And that's something I actually really love about Fiskars. And there are so many brands out there that really do want to work with creators and really treat creators as you know, as the what's the word I'm looking for?
They want to hear from you. They want your feedback. They want your honest feedback about what works, what doesn't work, what works for you, what's wrong with the tool or the product, or how do you think I can make this better?
Yeah, so that's something I really love. I love to know that a company isn't just making stuff. They actually really care about the creators, the people who they're really targeting that stuff for.
Yes, and since we're talking about Fiskars, we are actually part of some of their new product launches this year, and we've gotten to dabble a little with some of their test products, and they're really fun. So we hope you join us for more classes throughout the year, because they have some exciting new stuff that they're starting up this year.
Yeah, I think our next class is February 10th. I believe you already said that,
yes.
But I just wanted to say it again.
But every month, please join us. And also, go ahead.
I was just going to dive into another question, and then there's been a couple coming through chat, so I've been saving those. So we'll definitely touch on those as well. But how about touching more a little bit on branding for someone that's just starting out? How did you kind of find an identity for yourself and name and just the aesthetics from a branding perspective?
Oh my gosh, well, I feel like for us, we're still figuring that out. We came up with Crafty Lumberjacks as a fun name when we were, that name actually came from somebody who was basically catcalling us on the street. We saw them like 5 times in one weekend, and every time when we were doing Fiddler on the Roof, we had these long beards, we couldn't shave, and of course, we always rocked the flannel, and they were just kind of following us around and calling lumberjacks, lumberjacks, lumberjacks. And then when we were making the blog, we had to pick a name, and for whatever reason, that just stuck. So now it's kind of stuck with us for this long.
Yeah, luckily we still have beards, just because that's how we
roll,
and we do wear flannel, but sometimes people are like, wait, you're not lumberjacks, and we're like, yeah, sorry. But I think creating a brand is staying true to yourself. I think something that there's so many trends now, and I think it's a tricky thing where you have to follow trends but keep them to what you like. So if you like something, stay with it. If you have a niche, we have a lot of followers who are people we follow who love Halloween, because if you know us, we love all holidays, and Halloween is up there, and all they do is Halloween all the time. And you might be thinking, but that kind of cuts out people who don't like Halloween all the time. Don't let that. If you have a niche that you love, stick to it. Sometimes the best brands are the most nichiest, where it's, you might, would you agree with all that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, figuring out your brand it's personal, but it's also knowing, of course, we love Cher, and Cher says you always have to evolve. So if you start something, if you start something and you're not liking the way it's going, just shift it. That's totally fine.
And I think kind of like that has all changed over the years too, where people used to be very precious about having their Instagram feed look very polished and color coordinated. And I think, depending on the brand you have, that's important. But I think if you're kind of a DIY creator, I think, that kind of lends itself to so many different pathways,
Yes. Yeah. And if you're creating product, I think the best thing to think about is what do I need? What do I need? What would I really use? I think that's the best way. Or what do I really like? And then put it out there.
Yeah.
All right. And while we're on that topic, this is a question from the chat box. What is your thoughts in naming your craft business, not your personal name, but a tagline? I think they're concerned about if you name it yourself, how that impact later, maybe it's selling your brand or rebranding.
Oh gosh. I don't know if we're the best ones to answer that question. Holly, do you have any advice on that?
I think it's an interesting question, because if it's personalized, right? sometimes it feels more authentic in that sense of to yourself, right? I actually had started an Etsy page myself and thought about that, but I've also seen people do rebrandings as they've got down the line, and I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer to that. I think whatever feels right for you in the moment.
Yes,
I
I
think
think
that's
you
perfect.
hit the nail on the head. I think it's like whatever you're comfortable with. You know, if you don't want to put yourself out there, you don't have to put yourself out there. You know.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Again, as kind of the jewelry topic, I felt this pain. There's so many people making jewelry. What's a way they could stand out? And I think that could be different things to product, but also maybe different ways on Instagram or whatever platform you're on to speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think standing out is always the hardest part. I think, like Dennis said, getting involved with your actual community. I know times are a little tricky right now, but if you're able to really get involved with your community and put yourself out there, that will just help really create a strong foundation. I also think platforms like TikTok, platforms like are doing Instagram Reels, doing short videos about what your product is. It doesn't have to be how you make it specifically. It could just be a backstory of who you are. Keep it about 5 to 10 seconds long. Do some pans of your product. I think that would really help.
Yeah, I also think it's like you don't have to think that hard about how to make yours different. You know, I think if you want to, you can, you know, rather than always do like a gold clasp or something, and it's as simple as that.
Like a signature.
Yeah, like a signature little thing that just my jewelry always has this gold clasp, and that's what it does. You know, or this one color bead in the back, or something like that. It could be as simple as that, or it could just be like Andrew said, if you're creating content, we follow this one guy, Build with Ethan. Is that his name? Where now all his new videos, at the end of his videos, he puts his logo down, which is a sticker. And it seems like the smartest thing to me, where I'm like, why didn't we think of that?
Right.
Literally, he films, video. And then the last scene is just always him throwing down his sticker, his logo at the end of all his videos. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know if also I would say if there are other creators that you are involved with or that you know, do collabs. It doesn't have to be this crazy collab. We follow some collabs that they do lives. So they'll pick a Friday night and they'll call it like a craft night, and they will go from person to person. They'll spend 10 minutes just talking like, hey, I'm Andrew and this is what I do. I'm going to show you how I make these bracelets. And then they will have hundreds of people watching by the end of it. They'll, you know, if your first one doesn't go well, don't worry. It's about consistency. Keep on doing it. I think collabs is another great way to spread the message and also grow a bigger following.
Yes, and actually we're going to be creating something today. We're going to be creating a personalized embossed gift tag. Yeah. And I think kind of just those little details set your business apart. So I think if you have jewelry and you want to use bamboo packaging or something like that, I think those are really moments where you can take and kind of set your brand apart by just kind of having that. But I always use bamboo packaging, or I always do a handmade gift tag. Right. I think those kind of things, and especially now, it's like we're all so used to ordering on Amazon, getting things in a box. I think there's some pleasurement and enjoyment in someone unwrapping something and seeing something that maybe you didn't know was a part of the deal. And I think that's what will kind of keep having return customers in a sense, by saying, oh my gosh, this was so fun. We got this candle from Anthropology this year, and it was in like the cutest little packaging. We had no idea what it was, but we kept unboxing and opening, and we were like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing. And literally it's a candle wrapped in tissue paper. Right, but it was the best moment of our December.
Wow, what a sad December. I will say it's those little touches really do set you apart from the rest. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. Even just a handwritten note really creates a personal attachment to what your product is. Yes,
or if you want to get in with the younger kids, they're all about kind of, saving the environment and things like that. If you want to kind of, if you're willing to set yours apart and say every purchase you make, 5% goes to this animal sanctuary or something like that, I think that really kind of inspires people to want to shop with you, to want to purchase with you. Oh my God, we were getting like socks at one point because we knew 10% went to socks for homeless people. And for a while we were just getting socks, I forget the company, because we wanted that 10% to go there. And I think those are the things, those little tiny things can really kind of
I do too. I think if you're doing that, I think it really should be something that you really stand for and something that you really want to support. I think also that will help.
Yes, yeah.
All right, there was a couple questions that were similar, and I think are a good question for you guys specifically. What if you do multiple crafts? How do you kind of pull that together? I know you guys kind of do different things with us, from paper crafting, we've done DIY, you work with Cricut, you work with other brands. How do you kind of bring everything together if you don't have a specific niche in creating?
I think again, like, not to be redundant, but I do think it's about us. It's about the creator. We are kind of jacks of all trades because that's something we love about creating. We were kind of talking about it earlier together. Something we love about creating is that you really can dabble in whatever you want. And if you don't gravitate towards it, you don't have to go back to it. You can kind of find something new. And we love to try new things. So, but I do think the one thing that everything has in common that we do is us, and we always try to bring our personal style to it. So that's color. You know, we're usually earth tone type people. That's like, our apartment is filled with that, with little pops of color. So we try to remember to bring that in as well. Did that answer the question?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Then the next one, what are your thoughts on content quality versus consistency? If you had to choose, which is more important?
Oh gosh. I mean, for me now, I think content is king. I think if you are able to get into a routine where you can be consistent, I think that's more important than quality. And we kind of touched upon this earlier, where there has been a shift to kind of lo-fi, not as produced content that people want to see. They want to see behind the scenes. They want to see you in your craft space, which is trashed. They want to see that kind of stuff, and see a bit of you, see a bit of the project. But I think consistency is key and content is king. So if you're able to kind of give yourself to that, I think that is better. And again, it's gotten to a point now where you don't have to be so precious about it. You just got to post.
Yeah,
you just got to post,
I think if we're making content for brands, or if we're making content for our page on a behalf of a brand, we try to make it as best as possible. But then when we're doing stuff just for us, we really do try to keep it pretty easy. It's just, like Dennis said, content is king right now. It's really about posting as much as you can. Platforms like TikTok wants you to post 2 videos a day. That's a lot of work. And that might not be achievable, especially if you're one person trying to keep up with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. So don't beat yourself up if you cannot do that. But if you're going to find that you make one really good video a week, or 4 videos that are still good but not at that quality, I would say go for the 4 videos.
Yes. And I think what's kind of like a blessing in disguise now is like this short format, quick rundown of content. Andrew's disappearing. Don't know where he's going.
The computer is gonna die.
Oh, okay. It's that short form video where they want something from 10 seconds to 20 seconds. That's all they want. I think so. If you're able to do that, it's kind of a blessing, because that's really the only way you can produce this much content, is by keeping it short, keeping it quick.
You kind of touched on this, and I thought that would be a good one to move on to. How do you balance the different platforms? Are you on them all? Do you try just to focus on one and really own that? Or how do you balance that as things are constantly changing? There could be something else after TikTok. So how do you manage that?
Please, no. Don't let there be something else. It's hard. It's difficult. I think, though, we do really well with Instagram. We've always favored Instagram over anything, because that's really where we first started to build our community. So it has our heart, and it's something that we enjoy. We really enjoy doing stories. We really enjoy creating reels. We enjoy engaging with people. We enjoy talking to people, getting to know people. And that really for us is through Instagram. But we are everywhere. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Pinterest. But I think a lot of times now, the key is just repurposing content. Mm-hmm. It's either sharing the same video across all platforms, because you have to think of it as each platform has a different audience. So like your YouTube audience is different from your Instagram audience, which is different from your TikTok audience, Mm-hmm. So you know, and we've kind of given up caring about if it's posted there and it's posted there on the same day. We don't care because, you know, that's all we can do. So we're not going to feel bad about posting because we did it, you know?
I do think you kind of have to let go. It's really unrealistic to think that you on your own can do all of these things 100%. I mean, you could get a virtual assistant. There are plenty of virtual assistants out there who can help you pin things, who can help you keep up your Facebook posts. But I think another thing is to pick, sometimes you kind of have to pick what you're going to focus on. If it's too many to have all 5, or how many is, pick 3 and really try to be as on top of it for that. You know, YouTube is kind of it's hard with us, you know, it's something we really want, but it's not a realistic goal to be like, we're going to do 2 YouTube videos a week. You know, it's actually been over a month since we posted a YouTube video, and it's sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, we should be doing more, but sometimes you just have to let that go. And I do think repurposing is great if you can repurpose at different times, just so it's not all coming out at the same time. And if you could even take it a step further if you want and post something on Instagram, like let's say you're doing a DIY tutorial with voiceover on Instagram, take it to TikTok and then put a trending song on it and take out the voiceover, just so it's a little different if you really want to. But I think that overlapping your content is expected at this point, and it's a-okay.
Yes, and I think we touched upon this earlier. It's about consistency, and that's kind of why we're kind of like taking a step back from YouTube, because I feel in my heart, I'm like, if we're not being consistent, what is the point? Why should I break my back spending hours of filming, editing to post one video and then disappearing for 2 months? So I think if you're able to stay consistent with one platform, I think that's better than trying to stretch yourself thin and get everywhere.
I will say too, I'm sure a lot of creators out there, if you're creating video content, you know how hard it is to be like, I'll do one for YouTube, one for TikTok, and then you're trying to film horizontally, you're trying to film vertically, and then by the end of the day, you're like, did I get any good footage?
Right, what
just
did
because
I do?
was trying to juggle too much and take pictures, or you know. So I think it's okay to just hone in on what you can.
Love that.
While we're on that topic, someone asked, is it better to film with a camera or a phone? So what do you film with?
You know, I think quality-wise, it's definitely better to film with a camera. I will say I think 6 years ago, I went out and I bought a $1,000 camera. I'm gonna learn this, I'm gonna do this. It has sat in a bin, I think, for about 5 years now. It's a lot of work to use a camera. If you're not a photographer, I was not a photographer, I didn't know how to do this. If you're not, and it's gonna take you so much longer, use a phone. We've been using a phone probably for most of our career, and it does really well. Phones now are their footage is so great. So I would definitely say use a phone if that's what you have, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it all depends on how much you want to give yourself to this business and career. Like, do you want to invest in it? Like, if you do, go for it. You know, if you want to take the time to learn how to work a camera, work on exposure, work on lighting and all this other stuff, I think go for it if you have the money. If not, I think you can just do it with your phone.
And if you want to teach us, even better.
Yes.
Please.
Someone asked if you could repeat the 5 ways to make money. They had jotted a few of them down, but missed one of them. So
Sure. Well, you can sell product. Excuse me. Sell product. You can get sponsored gigs on your content, or you can create content for other brands.
So that's like a video that you would hand to the brand and they would use it. They might credit you, they might not, but that's for them to use. That's not for you to post.
Yes, unless you work a deal with them that you're also going to post it on your account.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, then you can make money through affiliate marketing, which is kind of links on Amazon or
share a sale.
Yeah, share a sale, where you kind of register and you kind of push these products, you know, and you make a small commission for every item that you sell. So that's affiliate marketing. And then there's
ad revenue.
Ad revenue, yeah. So YouTube, if you have a certain threshold, you can start putting ads on your YouTube videos. Or if you have a blog, you can put ads on your blog, and that you can also do ads. I don't think you buy ads though on Instagram and all that. You don't make, yes.
Right.
But I think Facebook now has a kind of a revenue system where you can get like kind of how you do on YouTube and get ads on your content.
Oh, cool.
Was that all about?
I think so.
Yes, I think you covered them all. What about organization? Whether it's, I know we're not the only brand you work with, so how do you manage that in your calendar?
Oh my gosh, the best we can. The best we can. We like handwritten stuff. We're not good with like electronics and digital stuff. So I think it's what works for you. So we like to write little notes. We have post-it notes all over the place. We have a calendar where we'll post the post-it note.
Yeah.
You know, and I think for us, it's just about doing the best we can. You know, it's just the two of us. We don't have a virtual assistant. We don't have, you know, a helper to help with emails. It's all us.
It can, you know, when you're working with a brand, and if you're working with multiple brands at the same time, it can be pretty confusing because they might want a date where you're giving them the content for them to check, and then there's the date for when you're posting, and then there might be another. I think writing it all on a calendar and really trying to be on top of it does set you apart from other people. I do think if you're trying to work with brands and you land a brand that you really wanted to work with, turn in your stuff on time or even early, and try not to have too much back and forth. It's not saying you can't ask them questions if you have it, but if you can just be as on top of it for them, that takes a weight off of them. And I think that's a part of why we're asked to do so many collabs over and over, because they know we're gonna get our stuff in on time. They know it's gonna be good. If we have revisions we have to do, we try to do them as quick as possible. And I think that does set us apart.
Maybe Holly agrees with that. Maybe not.
I definitely agree with that. We got a whole year together.
Yes, I know.
And we're lucky to have a brand like Fiskars who's so on top of it. Holly will send us reminders or be like, hey, you know, we're juggling 12 classes right now and it's very confusing, but she is so good on it. So you'll find that back and forth that really works.
While we're on that topic, what about finances? Kind of the same way. Are you tracking your finances on sticky notes as well?
Yes. No, we use QuickBooks for like invoicing system and also just to keep track. And that is the one investment that we made for our business, is hiring an accountant, because it got to a point where we could not keep track of it. Yeah. We could not keep track. It got out of hand, and he's been really helpful in kind of guiding us and honing us in and kind of you know, leading us to find ways that we can kind of benefit. How do I make this sound?
Well, I think also when you're working with so many different brands, it's all they're in different states. They want you know, like all like it's a lot of paperwork. So if you can find an accountant to help out if you are working with a lot of brands, that's a really great way. I think QuickBooks, I think it's called now.
QuickBooks, yes. But I think awesome. I was going to say he's kind of also guided us along our business, because we started as an LLC and then we became an S corp, because he said, hey, you're spending too much money on taxes. You're just giving off all your money. If you are a corporation, you can save this, which has been so helpful, because he's been kind of there as a little what are those called? Like a person who guides you. Not a therapist, but a guiding light. It'll come to me, but yes, which has been really helpful, because we don't like that. Yeah, we're actors, you know. We don't do the math and the things like that, you know.
Someone said Yoda.
Yoda, yes, exactly. Yes, I was thinking like a life coach, essentially. Like he's been kind of guiding us through our business and saying, this would be better for you, I think, because even when he came to us, he was like, what do you guys do? Right. And we're like, that's a good question. It's tricky. Because he kind of couldn't grasp what we did. You know, we were like content creators. We do television appearances. We do sponsorships. We do, you know, content for HGTV. And he was kind of trying to figure out, you know, what we do. And we're still doing that.
All right. For one last question, I think you guys might need to jump into the craft, but yes. What is your any goals or aspirations for you guys? Or are you just living it in the moment completely?
Oh my gosh. You know, we have so many goals. We never feel like we've really hit the moment. I think everybody does. No matter if it looks perfect on Instagram, it's really not in real life. Our goals are, we want to write a book. We want to move into a proper house because we live in a small apartment, and making content in an apartment is very tricky. We want, what else do we want?
A nap?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Just kidding.
We want to grow our brand. We want to,
of
we
course.
want to do
It's
it
like
all.
we want all the things.
Yeah.
Which is really difficult for us because again, our dream has shifted, which I think is so crazy. And they don't say this as your kid. They're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? A doctor. It's like all of us have become so many things throughout the course of our life. We're never just one thing. And I think for us, our path has changed over the course of many years, you know, and so the goals and the dream is we're still kind of trying to figure out, because again, this isn't a career that we expected. This just kind of happened, you know, which is so amazing, but we're still trying to navigate through it all.
And it's ever changing. I mean, I feel like it's always changing. So we're just trying to ride the wave.
Yes.
All right. So should we get into this craft?
Yes, let's get into the craft.
If you have questions that have not been answered, Dennis is going to be on the chat too. So you can we'll try to like talk as we go.
Yes, we can craft.
But we have about, I don't know, 12 minutes. So let's see, Felicia, I guess you can change the oh my gosh, she's always so on it. So Dennis, you can be in charge of this, right? Okay. So we talked about creating something to set yourself apart from the rest. And we just made these really cute and easy gift tags. If we were selling product, we would probably put something on our product like this. They're done with a stamp and embossing. Now, if you do not know what embossing is, it is such a great way to take your craft to the next level. It's basically plastic that you melt. So it's almost like a stamp, and then you melt the powder, and it turns into a plastic, and it creates it nice and shiny. I'm sure you've seen embossed cards out there before, but it really does just take your craft to the next level, and it's really easy to do and achievable. So we're going to be using some Fiskars products with this. We're going to be using our paper cutter over here. We always have this on hand just because it's so easy. And what I'm going to do is just cut out a strip, and I'm using 2 pieces of paper for this, a black and a white. Of course, you can use whatever color you want or whatever color fits your brand best.
And again, it's these small details and these things, when you go a little extra mile, I wouldn't say a mile, like a few steps, it really sets your business apart.
That's true.
You know, and I love embossing because I just think it's so fun, and it really gives a nice outcome, and it's fun to touch.
It is fun. So now I'm just gonna cut it again. Now, if you have any questions on these products, on what we talked about, please.
Yes, and also stay tuned for the giveaway. You want to hear, you have to answer a question to win the giveaway.
Yep, so I'm just gonna punch these corners, and they're just gonna give a nice, little nice detail.
Yes, and this little punch here is great because it is good for scrapbooking. Yep. Which we love to do, or I used to do back in my youth when I was a rent head.
Oh my gosh, of course, Dennis. Love the musical
Megan's
rent.
here. Hi, Megan. Lovebird Heartworks. Love you. Christina, Modern Flower Creation. These are all of our community of creators. Yes. We all kind of help each other out to get the gig, to see what's going on, to check in, to ask questions. We love you both very much. Thank you for being here.
So I'm just going to be using another punch. This is a star punch. This is from their confetti kit. I like to turn mine upside down just so I can see exactly where it goes. And I'm just going to punch it in the middle, and what this has created is just a little peekaboo. You see that?
Yeah, so cute.
So cute. Okay, now for the embossing. So this is great. Now what you can do is use any stamps you want with embossing. I'm using a Fiskars stamp kit that you can actually just add different types, different tops to it. So we have one that
so they're a little sticky, and they stick right onto the stamper there, which is so cool.
Yeah, we love sending out cards when we send out our stickers. So having a handmade touch on a card is pretty easy to do. Now I'm just going to be using this embossing ink pad that I got from Michael's. It's really easy to use. It's just like an ink pad, but it's clear. And what it is it's more of a glue than an actual ink. So I'm just going to stamp it right on here.
Wipe it down?
Not yet.
Okay.
And then Dennis just handed me, this is called an anti-static bag. And it's basically just filled with chalk. And what you're going to do is you want to wipe all surfaces that you're going to be stamping on that. That way the powder falls off of it easily. If you don't do this, your powder is going to stay all over your paper, and then it's not going to come off very easily. If you find that, you can use a paintbrush though, a dry paintbrush, and then brush it off. That works really well. I am gonna just add some to a catch.
Oh, that's why I put this here.
Oh, sorry. Just to a little piece of paper to catch all our powder. Just like if you were doing glitter, you gotta catch that powder and that glitter. All right, and then I'm just going to line up my stamp right here and press it down. Oh my gosh, I think my stamp shifted. No, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. You know, when you stamp and it shifts. But I was thinking what I really want is a Crafty Lumberjack stamp.
Yes.
I think this would be really
oh my
great
gosh.
if you have your brand on a stamp.
Yes,
so
and then to emboss it.
Yeah, so this is the embossing powder. Comes in all different types of finishes and colors. You just want to pour it right on top.
And again, stay tuned. We're going to do a question. Make sure you follow us on social media at Crafty Lumberjacks on Instagram. We're going to be giving away the Fiskars alignment tools, which is great if you have a Cricut maker or a silhouette, or you kind of have a vinyl. We're going to be using that in our next class on February 10th, and we're giving those away with a pair of the OG Fiskars scissors.
Yep, so all you have to do is answer the correct question and then slide it into our DMs, and we're going to pick out the correct answer by random.
Yes, and every class we're going to be doing a giveaway, and we're also going to be giving our 5 favorite tips with our favorite tools that we're using in each class. So we hope you join us.
And you know what's really fun about these classes that people craft along with us? We did one for kids, and we had all these kids crafting along. It was super fun.
And they were like holding up their projects. It was really
so
fun.
Cute.
Hi, Johnny Ray. I see you. Hi, George. Nice to see you both. Thank you for being here.
So now I'm just using a heat gun, and I'm just going to wave it about probably about like 3 inches away from the embossing, and it's probably going to be hard to see, but you can see the shift in color. As you can see right now, it just looks like powder on top, but when you hit it, it's going to get glossy.
If there's a way you can, yeah.
And you don't want to overdo it, or it becomes almost burnt. So it's just really finding that perfect.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Moment.
There you go. And I mean, to plug Fiskars, but not to plug Fiskars, you know, these are the tools that my mom was a crafter, still is, but she has been working with the OG orange scissors my whole life. You know, they were a staple in our home, a staple in our junk drawer, and we're actually giving away a pair. And what I love about Fiskars tools is that they've really thought about the creators and the makers, and all these tools make things so easy to make, especially for bulk crafts or projects.
Yep.
You know, pop on your favorite movie. We've been binge watching Cobra Kai. We're still catching up, so no spoilers. But you know, we love to make things while we're binge watching, and kind of these punchers and things make everything so quick that you can just get it done. That's what I love.
That's right. When we made this originally, I think we did it 5 at a time. It really didn't take much more time than it took me just to make this. And there you have it.
Yes,
I mean, even if you
so
don't have
cute.
a business, this is so cute to make. And you can really customize it to what you want.
Yep,
Yeah.
and they sell a wide variety of different colors, I think you said, of the embossing powder, and different sheens and shines, you know.
Different sheens and shines. And
Yes,
that's it.
embossing is sexy. I love that. Yes,
Yes.
It is sexy.
All right, Felicia, you can flip us back to our faces.
And let's hold up our giveaway prizes here.
Okay, so to enter the giveaway.
Let's see, we're not on camera yet, but these are so great. These are the Cricut, the Fiskars Align and Apply Vinyl contraptions here. They have one for curved surfaces.
Yep.
And then they have one for flat surfaces. We've been experimenting with these and playing with these the last 2 months. They're really great to, like if you're putting a vinyl, you can kind of see the picture here on a cup or on a curved surface. It makes it so easy to get your vinyl centered and straight.
Nothing's worse than taking all the time to cut it and then apply it, and then you apply it and it's wonky or slightly,
yes.
You know, that always stinks.
So, and again, it's sometimes you just need an extra set of hands. And this kind of comes, I mean, we have each other to work with, but this is kind of an extra set of hands to make it easier for you to apply your vinyl, which is so great because I know a lot of Cricut creators are out there.
Okay,
so we're big fans of this.
Okay, so for the giveaway, you have to answer this question. Now, I expect you to Google it because who knows this off the top of their heads.
Here we are.
Hello. So feel free to Google it. That's fine. It's going to be picked at random. You just have to have the correct answer there and be following us. What year did the classic orange-handled scissors come out? What year did they come out.
Yes, and maybe Holly, we can tell the story behind the reason why it's orange in the next class.
Oh, that's good. We actually learned it today from Holly. It's actually really interesting. But we really hope we answered all your questions today. I know we only have about 3 minutes, and then they just shut us off.
Yeah,
so
send these answers to our DMs on Instagram. At Crafty Lumberjacks, and then we'll choose a winner at random.
Yes.
And Holly will get those tools out to you
ASAP. And so we just want to thank you so much for coming today. We really hope that we helped you out trying to navigate this. Again, find your community out there. Pull people together. That's what it's all about. If you have any questions that we did not answer, feel free to DM us. We'll be happy to answer as best as we can.
Yes, and also this will be on Michael's YouTube channel in about a day or so.
Yep.
So if there's something you want to revisit or go back to or share with your friends, it will be posted on Michael's YouTube channel in about 48 hours.
Yeah.
Yes, and of course, if you're creating, we always like to see it, and Michaels likes to see it. You can use the hashtag Make It With Michaels.
Make it with Michaels.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, and that's just and a great way to stalk. Go to these hashtags. Go to these hashtags. Start liking people's pictures. Like, leave a comment. Love this. Looks great. Blah, blah, blah. And that's how you get on people's radar.
Well, we hope you had a really great time today. I know we did. It was really great to just talk things out. Even just, saying these things out loud motivates us to do even more. And we hope it did the same for you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Have a great week.
Bye, everyone.